Hi, it's Johnny Flynn from Connecticut, running for U.S. Senate. It's August 27th, and there's a deadline this month to pull out of Afghanistan. And one article after the next is just very, very disheartening. And we need to take a pause, folks, and figure out what's happening in America and how do we help heal the damage being done. If you look at projects like Wounded Warrior or Tunnel to Towers, the Veterans Administration, the DAV, there's hundreds of Veterans Administration charities, and we are getting inundated with mail about them. For example, many of them, like this one we just received, it says, we need to donate for kits to veterans. It talks about the suicide rates, and it has a lot of old data. The fact that there's 6,617 suicides among veterans in 2017, that's the last data they have published. It's quite alarming that we don't know how many veterans took their own life last year, but I can assure you the number is higher this month than the monthly average of any other time. When you look at what's happening, veteran Joe Collins, he's running in California against Maxine Waters. Veteran after veteran, they're stepping up to become congressmen. Who is conservative Republican C. Wilsley Hunt? Who is that? Who is Kevin King? Well, we need to do our due diligence. We need to support the correct candidates, and the list is enormous. Here we go. I mean, I can't even keep up with the number, but I can tell you that the last few veterans, Tyler Kistner, for example, I invited him to the debate tournament for debating congressional candidates and between senators, which is kicking off shortly, and we have a lot of interest. But when you look, like, veterans are sending me flags because we're on a list. My dad's a big supporter, and we also contribute to a lot of congressional campaigns, mostly incumbents, but I'm working with many, many different challengers, because I think we need to replace every congressman in Connecticut and New England, for that matter. We don't have anyone that has any clue about what's happening right now. So if you look at the veteran data, what's being done? Well, the problem's much bigger than I'm describing, and let me put an article on the screen. I don't want to show what's happening across the country today and yesterday. It's a hurricane of violence. But look at this article on screen, if you don't mind. Here we go. RFK assassin Serhan Serhan is seeking parole with no opposition from prosecutors. I've been describing our prosecutorial problem in Connecticut with our chief state's attorney, Richard Colangelo, taking a bribe on a murder and not being investigated by McCosey. But look on the screen here. Serhan Serhan, convicted of assassinating Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1968, is seeking parole for the 16th time. The Los Angeles County District Attorney, George Gascon, will not attend the 77-year-old's parole hearing on Friday. Look at the Smollett incident with the prosecutor, Kim Foxx. She's tied up with Harris and other senators who wanted to promote a lynching bill. They met with Fox, and here we go. The problem with these prosecutors, who are supported by Mr. Schwartz, that's his real name, George Soros, we get to the point where all these things are a slap in the face to our veterans. The money being spent on the undocumented and the refugee crisis, which is overwhelming. AOC just asked the Congress for 200,000 new visa applications for the refugee process. Well, you know, there is a process. Unfortunately, they don't follow the process. Allowing legal immigrants in is our law, okay? Not protecting the border while Al-Qaeda and the Taliban are scrambling. We just got through a disastrous event where our own congressman allowed Black Hawk helicopters, M16s, Humvees, thousands of Humvees, to go to fortify our enemy's weaponry. We fortified Afghanistan, and there are problems. One of the major problems with Afghanistan is that while we were over there doing very little for the people, China was there bringing water to certain districts. If you look at a road map there, you can tell, okay, you can see where Russia was building roads, where China was bringing water in, and it's a complicated thing. But when you look at what our senators are doing, Murphy and Blumenthal, they're not helping the Afghan people, okay? They never did. 20 years and $20 trillion for the 9/11 event, and the 20-year anniversary coming up is a shocker to our nurses left behind, our essential workers in Afghanistan left behind, our intelligence community. Everyone we asked to support us has been left, and the price tag will be gigantic. It's not only that 14 people were killed yesterday, it's that now we're looking at potentially hostage problems, negotiating with terrorists, which is what Richard Blumenthal does, and which Senator Murphy, they trust, okay? Terrorists who can't be trusted. We need to replace these people immediately. Look on the screen. See this picture of RF Kennedy? There's article after article about the prosecutors not opposing the release of Serhan Serhan, an assassin. Article after article showing his picture. Could Robert F. Kennedy's convicted assassin soon be free? Let me tell you, why are the Democrats, okay, running for cover, supporting prosecutors that are totally fine with releasing a guy who caused a gigantic problem? And it's a prosecutor himself. He was a prosecutor himself. I'm telling you, these are the John F. Kennedy speeches that he made. I'm going to focus on it because the language is incredible. We've got to steer our language as Republicans to gather these Hartford, New Haven, Waterbury, and Bridgeport votes. What is the GOP saying? I could tell you, but I'd rather not. I got a call yesterday from a woman in Stonington who shall remain nameless, but I don't think Lamage is the right candidate. I don't think he would go after a prosecutor as an attorney. That would be the end of his law career. Okay? So when you look at the facts, we need to thank these veterans' families. Think about the widows. Think about the problems with the Veterans Administration over the years. Blumenthal even maintained he was a veteran falsely. 6 times, folks. Not 1 time. 6 times. We have the stolen valor issue. We have the fact that they want to reinstate the Iran deal, pay Iran while they're operating their centrifuges to take us down. Fortifying the Talban, which is Al-Qaeda, which is, the Osama bin Laden thing with 9/11. I lost loved ones in 9/11, folks. I've got veterans in my family. My first cousins have many veterans. My grandfather was a Army surgeon. He became a famous doctor in New York State. And let me tell you, there are Democrats here that are fleeing like cockroaches when you turn the light on. And the walkaway campaign was fantastic. We worked with them. We have many people running for Congress that deserve your attention. I don't even know how you can compare veteran Joe Collins to Maxine Waters. Threatening conservatives to get in your face, tell you you're not welcome. Well, she's saying that to veterans. And look at the state of California. Look where it's at. Look what should be happening in Connecticut is our own recall. Why? I've got enough evidence. I filed a case a year and a half ago in August of 2020. It still hasn't been set for a hearing date on the fee waivers. And my last 100 fee waivers, which are valid, were denied by Republican and Democratic judges alike. Democrats, primarily, Provater, Heller, Jacobs, I can name them, supporting a Democratic prosecutor taking bribes in Connecticut. Look at the FBI. They promised me. They made promises to me. They have never done a single thing about the Bernie Madoff problem in Connecticut, which is funding Jim Himes. Jim Himes' largest donor is Bank America. You can look back to the beginning of time. Bank America bought Shawmut Bank. It financed slavery in America. Yet you support Bank America. How many people who are upset about slavery have bank accounts at Bank America? How many had accounts at Fleet Securities, Shawmut Bank, Quick and Riley? Quick and Riley was bought by Bank America. It's a problem, folks. We have problems with misconduct. We need to fund the right candidates. You need to follow on Debate Tourney, and you need to fund these candidates. I'm getting very few contributions, but that will change. That will change. I will change that. And we are doing tremendous things, folks. We've got a lot of structural campaign things in. Do you know we're working with the Congressional Clearinghouse? We are, in Connecticut. Do you know that Connecticut had a material influence on the voter fraud audit going on in Arizona and other states? Pennsylvania, do you know there's a meeting on the 29th, which is 2 days from now, in Connecticut that you have to be there. Be there. Go. It's important. Why? If you knew the facts about what's happening, and you don't, I'm fairly certain, that we are in a situation that is unwinding. There is absolutely, think about this. Does Pelosi become president after Kamala Harris? Does the FBI have Pelosi's laptop? Yes, it does. Is it treason? No. It's far worse than treason. So, follow, share. We're taking a risk. We're being censured. I'm being censured like no other. Why is that? Because the message is clear. I started yesterday saying, no justice, no peace. That's a Black Lives Matter chant. They said it at Columbus Magnet School. Really? On election day, scaring Republicans away from the poll. You guys need to take that chant and own it, because there is no justice and there is no peace. And this is what we need to use to get the Democratic vote, the unaffiliated vote, and the independent vote in Hartford, New Haven, Waterbury, and Bridgeport. And I'm going to do it. Watch me do it. Help me do it. Go to the events. Talk about it. Take it home and make it yours. And thank you very much. This was meant to be a veterans support post. I can't imagine where they are, knowing they lost their comrades in a war that virtually didn't have anyone's support. Just like Blumenthal's Saigon. This is Biden's Afghanistan. This is his failure, plain and simple, with no comment. And Kamala Harris is a prosecutor, folks. She was a prosecutor. And let me tell you, the prosecutors in Boston, Philadelphia, they need to go to jail. That's not my job. I'll take care of Connecticut's guy, but you guys got to take care of your own. Because if we divide and conquer, I'll meet you in the middle. Thanks again.